Hello, and thanks everybody so much for joining us this week on the weekly NABLL update. We have uh, Rachel Anderson, Joe O'Deal, the one and only Aaron Coleman, and Kyle Baker. So, what is going on, everybody? The common theme tonight is juniors. Rachel, we should start with you since you are the director of the league, but you also have a juniors team that's getting ready to fly halfway across the country. So, that's really cool, too.
I do. We're getting on a plane next Friday to go play these guys in Holyoke. We're super excited. Last year, I had the youngest team in the country, and they just kept bringing me more. So it felt like a silly thing not to capitalize on that. And now I've got a small army of juniors that are so excited to travel, and I I feel like juniors is the wave of our future. So I'm really excited about it.
Absolutely. So, Kyle, you're the only other junior team I haven't seen this far. How is your junior team? Do you got a full team? I mean, you got any crazy guys getting ready to fly across the country?
Well, we're not flying anywhere. We're driving down to Mass, which is nice. But our core guys will be overlapped, from our senior group, and they've been with our junior team and that's the stuff we've done in the past. And then we're going to fill in with some local talent and bring in some others to fill our roster. But our core group is pretty much going to be the younger guys from our senior team, really, and some practice roster guys who aren't able to get the floor reps.
Yeah. Sorry, Aaron, I muted you. There was some other noise picking up in the background, but whenever we'll just have you unmute when you're ready to talk. But yeah, that was bad. It was going over the top of Kyle. Sorry about that. But Joe, so you have the Paper City team. You guys have a pretty amazing facility up there. Something most people don't have, like one of those perfect little barns that's just like designed for box. So there was some debate with Paul, thinking there was no ice in there. I said those painted lines look awful fresh for the blue line and everything. How long of the season do you have there?
We have it until basically the end of August. It's a state-owned rink, so they don't really get involved with too much of like the club hockey stuff. It's more like open skates and then high school hockey, and that doesn't really pick up until in the fall. So we're lucky in that the ice is out of there. It's out pretty early, and it stays out majority of the summer.
Yeah, and are you like Kyle, where you guys have a bunch of guys from juniors and seniors that overlap, or do you guys have pretty exclusive junior team?
It's a pretty exclusive junior team. A large portion, especially my offense on my senior team, would actually be junior eligible, but they're playing senior, so and they have a game that Saturday night, so I'm not going to be double dipping them, but it gives other guys an opportunity to play.
Awesome. And Coleman, you got a couple of guys from the Yeti, but I mean, why don't you tell us about? You get the Nexus Center. I happen to know where you are. You guys have a pretty nice setup.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky with the facilities between the Nexus and having Oneida as an option too. So, but our team is primarily junior guys. We do have a couple that overlap. Actually, our junior team has shed light on some of our capabilities, and some of those guys have been called up. So, that's kind of the goal ultimately, anyway. So.
Right.
That's worked out in our senior team's favor. But yeah, that Saturday we play Friday night in Utica. So I don't know if our senior guys will be able to make the trip the next morning. We'll kind of play it by ear. But yeah, you'll see a lot of younger guys, a lot of 16, 17, and 18-year-olds. So
Yeah, absolutely. You have a young team, and it was really cool, especially to see like I don't want to mispronounce his name. Is it Rorik?
yeah, Rorik Perry. Yeah.
Yeah, so to see him come up, somebody I had never really seen before, we watched him in the juniors out in Holyoke, and then got to see him come and really step up and score some monster goals. That was really cool. It's kind of what the teams are designed to do, though. You get a junior program, the guy says, "Hey, I'm good enough to get up there and play." So Kyle, I mean, you guys, how long have you had a junior team up there? I know you've had a senior team for a while.
Well, I mean, it's tough to like label it a junior team, but I've tried to do things with like the upper class high school age to 21 age group as much as I could. So we've done the Seneca tournament the last 2 winters, which is a junior age tournament and a really really high level tournament. And then we did those games with the Oaks last summer, and we just try to put in the younger age groups as we can. And this summer it'll be nice to do something a little more organized and get the kids a little more of a feel like our senior teams have.
Yeah. Now your second goalie, I think, right? He's a young guy. Does he
Tucker.
yeah, is he still
Yeah.
juniors?
Yeah, so he is 19. He just finished his freshman year at OCC, and he was the backup there for their field team this spring. And he's in love with the box game. And he's been in the rink with us, everything we've done, and it's crazy to see the kid develop because, like, he came in as just a raw young field goalie, and now he cares about it. He's watching YouTube videos. He's picking guys' brains, and you can see it game in, game out. He gets a little bit better. He's just got to get bigger, which I don't know if he's going to get any bigger at 19, but
Yeah, and Rachel's right. I'm an idiot. I forgot to click go live. I'll upload it afterwards. So the first couple minutes of this conversation was not live on YouTube. My bad. I forgot to check it. I usually do, but I actually had. You caught me double dipping. I was checking my stream that's going on in Tuscarora right now instead. So now we are live. We will upload the first 5 minutes of this after we are done. Thank you, Rachel, for pointing that out. And I guess. Yeah, on that note, Rachel, I'll let you introduce everybody this time to get us going again.
Okay. Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm the executive director of the league and the owner and president of the Isotopes. I have a first-year junior team, and I am flying out next Friday to play against these gentlemen here with Paper City, the Yeti juniors, and the Maine juniors. I'm going to let them introduce themselves and talk about their programs.
All right, perfect. Kyle, you're the only one unmuted. We'll start with you, and then we'll go on.
all right, yeah. Well, I'm Kyle Baker. I GM of the Maine Northmen Box Lacrosse Club. We've had a senior team for 6 years now. We've been trickling down into the junior stuff, and this summer we'll have our junior program competing with the likes of the Isotopes, the Yeti, and the Oaks,
Yeah,
and
and so
hopefully more.
you said you've had your guys, you kind of go out to the Seneca tournament, but it's pretty cool this year having the teams. Rachel, huge shout out to you finding a group of guys ready to fly over here to get an extra game. And I knew Paul was pretty excited to tell me about you guys had a second set of games. He was excited for the first set. That was quite an experience. So, Joe, you essentially had a box goalie that had never played box for that, right? You're muted, Joe. You got to just unmute yourself real quick.
Yeah, our goalie, that was his first actual box game he's ever played. Just because we didn't have anybody that fit the age group. So I was at a college prospect day, and I was like, hey, you want to give this a try? And he was all about it. So he did it, and he did admirable for his first shot at it. Hopefully he'll be a little bit more comfortable this coming week or next weekend.
Absolutely. But you had a bunch of guys with box experience. Where did those guys come from? Is that just something you guys have done through the years? Or did you guys, I mean, like, I know you got a guy traveling from College City for your senior team, but how far of a drive? You got one guy coming from Virginia?
I got one guy on the senior team. He comes up from Virginia.
Crazy.
I've been coaching him since he was a little kid. So that's where that one came in. We have guys from all over. We have guys from Connecticut. We have like a pocket of guys from Connecticut. We have a pocket of guys from Albany, Vermont, Western Mass, Central Mass. They kind of come from all over the place.
Yeah, it's impressive the way guys drive in. I mean, Coleman, you can speak to this a little bit. You guys have guys from everywhere. You've got guys that have played at OCC, but you've also got a lot of young guys that you guys have brought into box too.
Yeah, we started out under a different organization a couple seasons ago, really breaking into Lax 9 stuff, and then we formed the Junior Yeti under the senior team, and we did U13, U15, and then U17. Then we did 18U tournaments. So we've really been kind of breaking into all the levels, and then we embarked on this junior program. So yeah, that's where most of our guys came from. I mean, a lot of our guys there, a lot of 17 and 18-year-old, couple 16-year-olds that came from the junior programs that we established previously. So, but yeah, we do. We got OCC guys, we got Herkimer guys, we've got Utica College, Cortland. We've got all kinds of guys from the local area. So, we're lucky with that. Problem is, travels, we're still working out travel, and that's, I think, where, somehow Rachel figured it out to just fly everybody. I don't know how you pulled that off, but
We went to Omaha last year in a caravan of cars, and they had the best time. And Omaha came to us this season, and they were like, "What do you mean we're not going to travel?" And I was like, "You want to travel?" And they were like, "Yes, we want to travel." So these guys, I was like, "Hey, will you let us in?" And they were like, "Heck yeah!" And we're going to Massachusetts. Like they're about it. They're super excited, and we had such a good time last year. So I think it'll be great, and I would love.
Yeah.
I would love the chance like to play out of region. We're so far away from everybody else. This will be super fun, and like I love hanging out with all these guys. So it's gonna be a great weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking forward to it too. I think I'm hoping with some of the more well-known junior programs that have kind of either faded away or just not made it into the following seasons, in front of us. Hopefully we can make a bigger footprint, especially in our region, of course, but across the NABLL, it'd be great to see. So.
Yeah, I mean, Joe, how did you put all this together? It was just kind of you started talking to one team, then the other, then next thing you know, you've got all these teams coming from all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, Charlie and I have wanted to do the junior thing because, we have the top of the pyramid right now with the senior team, and we need to build that foundation. Like we were talking about earlier, you have to have the younger guys coming up, learning the game. So, we had a couple games here and there with Maine. We have a winter program that we run, or very small scale tournaments and stuff like that, just to kind of get guys involved. And this year I know initially it was Maine, West Rock, us, and Utica, and that was going to be a great time. I think West Rock just struggled getting guys for the junior age group. Hopefully they can come in next year. That would be amazing. And we just need the infrastructure out here everywhere in the NABLL. But if we can kind of be the testing ground for having a junior program, that'd be amazing. It's kind of what we're doing. So we're super thankful for Utica coming out and Rachel coming out and Baker with his guys. You know.
Yeah, no, it's my favorite part is actually getting to meet these guys. Like there's certain people you look forward to seeing that you only get to see at nationals or if you go to Lax Night and stuff. And now you guys are another group of those guys that we get to go out and see, and I absolutely love it. It's fun. And really, if you can start them at juniors, even if you only end up with one or two guys that end up on your senior team, each one of those guys now is going to be able to tell somebody about their box experience as they get to play. And they're in these older men's leagues and be like, oh, you think this is intense? You should have seen the box games we played against these guys. Or, it really does a little bit goes quite a long way. When it comes to that. So, Kyle, how far of a and I muted you. You'll have to unmute yourself. Sorry, you had some kind of speaker or something going. But how far
Yeah,
of a trip is it?
someone getting after it on their bike behind me.
How far is it for you to get to Holyoke?
For me, it's a little under 3. I'm in Kennebunk, which is like pretty down low on the point of Maine. So I'm right on 95 South, and then Mass Pike from there. So it's not bad, but most of my guys are a little over 3 hours from here, but it's drivable.
It's not
It's
like
a one day.
Yeah, it's not Rachel's 26-hour drive halfway across the country.
No, that's quite the hike.
We're not driving. We're
No.
not driving.
So, Kyle, you were saying you have a lot of overlap between your teams. Do you guys have separate junior practices, or is it just kind of a group practice?
No, we're practicing together.
So how many guys do you have at like a practice when you're doing it, you guys, for the full?
It really this year it's been hit or miss. Like one night we had 27 guys total. Couple nights ago we had 13. It all depends on the evening. We practice on Friday nights, later in the evening to try and work it out. Because in my opinion, the only plans you have late on a Friday night is girlfriend or something like that, which you can go bail on for 2 hours for lax. So no one's working late on a Friday night unless they're bartending in my mind. So I try to make it convenient for guys to show up, but you know how it is with senior guys. It's tough to drag them out to practice. Some guys are gung ho and at everything, and some guys, just don't want to drive 45 minutes to an hour for it. But it is what it is. We're always like 15 plus, and sometimes we're upwards of 30 with the whole group, which is fun because we can really get after it up and down the floor. But we numbers have been better this year than in past, so it's good.
Always have two goalies.
I wish. Um, especially this year, we're shy goalies this year because we had a couple local guys. We're in Rochester, so a couple local guys at Biddeford who just can't make it over that way. But we've only had one night where we have one goalie in the mix, but I keep a full set of gear in the locker room, so bottom of the totem pole guys or young guys, they get stuck in the pads some nights.
You're going to learn real quick how to play. And I tell you, it's not a terrible idea because it gives you a different vantage point, especially if you got somebody playing defense. Aaron, have you ever put the pads on?
I'd love to jump in that.
Oh, I've never.
Yeah, so I did a couple times, but not for Yeti. We're lucky. We've got probably too many goalies, and not to brag, but we've between the junior team and the senior team, some nights we get 5. So we're pretty deep there. But yeah, I put them on. It's not my favorite thing to do, I'll admit. I'd rather just watch than play goal. So
I'm flinching. What about you, Joe? Do you have the ability to step in that?
I have for like house league stuff before. I'm like 5'6", so it's not really it's not really great because the top shelf is open all day long.
Yeah, it's not fair for us little guys. We are at a disadvantage all the time.
Yeah, but no, I've done it. It's definitely not my favorite thing, but it helps to know what it's like for sure. That way you can communicate with your actual goalie, and you've been in it. You know what I mean? But I haven't done it in a couple years.
Rachel, you ever thrown the pads on? No?
They would love nothing more than if I put the pads on. I typically have 2 or 3 goalies at practice that are very, very, very good at showing up. One of my goalies is currently, I have to put in a little plug, playing for Team USA in the IJL right now. So Beck Hagen is up there playing for the U21s. So
kudos to him. That's
bad boys too.
He's with some of Baker's guys, so that's pretty awesome.
So who do you got out there? Let's give him some shout outs. Who do you got out there, Kyle?
Forward Fisher Gadbois, one of our junior senior swing guys. He's been a junior guy, but this summer is his first step up to senior, and he's young, but he's gonna fit in.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Get the hang of getting beat up by some bigger bodies.
I was going to say, it looks like it's paying dividends if he's got out there. And that is one thing. So a lot of, talking to the Can-Am guys, they never used to have the junior program. So all these 16-year-old kids had to go play men's. And that's a big difference between a 16-year-old kid and a 40-year-old man. I mean, like that, it's a huge, huge difference physically. You watch these kids; none of them have that work strength yet, or the they like to call it old man strength, but essentially it's anybody who's worked for a living. You hold on to things long enough, you get grip strength. It's kind of simple, but yeah, it's a wide age gap. I love to see the juniors. It makes it a little more competitive, and it is cool when you see guys get to swing back and forth. It really gets guys a lot of playing. It's just more options. Like Paul had guys went to the junior, and then by the senior game, you could see it. They were smoked. But I mean, these are guys that run up and down the floor, and if you're going to compete at nationals, you got to be able to play those like long days, just multiple games. It's interesting the way it goes. You almost because you guys do home and homes too, right, Kyle? Does everybody here do home and homes with their senior team?
Yep.
We do, except Omaha. We play in a weekend because it's 6 hours.
Yes, I actually just reached out to the Omaha guy. We're going to have him on pretty soon. They practice on Wednesday night, so I'll have a little recorded segment with him, but I'm excited about that.
Alex is awesome.
Yeah. No, I love all the new teams. I really try to get on here. I love the stories. Most of your stories I actually knew, though, because we've talked to everybody before, so it's nice to kind of get it out there. Unfortunately, though, we should have talked about this earlier. We didn't. The passing of Woody Seneca. He was the seniors, Ganahonye Lakers owner. Honestly, big part of Blue Squatch. him, Paul Necker. There's really only a couple guys that have had nearly as much of an impact as Charity or me have had, and he is definitely one of those guys. So he will be missed. The Lakers have said they're going to continue to play. They're going to have to reschedule some things, but that is one thing that getting to spend as much time in the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, they believe their ancestors are playing alongside with them. So yeah, glad to see him playing again, and it is such a big spiritual part of the game. Unfortunately, brand new team, but I can confidently say without Woody, there would be no Lakers. So thankfully, he did get that done, and we really appreciate it because you guys have a whole Upstate West division, like a whole division just popped up out of nowhere.
We have 11 teams in New York now.
Yeah, it is. It's great. It really. So I actually live closer to where Joe is than I do to any of the other New York teams. So it is funny. I'm closer to Massachusetts than I am to anybody else.
It's crazy, and I already have like 6 teams that want to join for next year. I probably field at least 2 calls a week during the season of people that are like, "Am I too late?" And I was like, "I mean, it's July, but they're like, okay, I'm gonna be so locked in for next year." So yeah, I mean, we're growing every minute, so it's super exciting. That upstate division, like they just kept coming, and they were like, "Hey, is it too late?" And I was like, heck no, it's February, let's go. So that was incredible to get all of those added to us this year, and then it looks like we're going to have even more next year.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Where do we want to go first? Do we want to go into the power rankings and start all the squabbling, or should we go into I grabbed all the points leaders. Actually, you know what? We're going to just start with points week because I know we got Kyle smiling face sitting up there on the top. So made the executive
Look at
decision there.
that.
Kyle
That's the
Vick.
biggest I'll ever smile.
I do love it. So 46. I actually have to say though, that performance you put on for Team USA Blue was one of the best performances I've ever seen in the weekend. That was you had a phenomenal weekend for Team Blue. That was impressive.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the league leaders, Chase Kogan, a guy young enough to be able to play juniors, but is not. Zach Blount,
It's next level.
Yeah, it's crazy. Have you guys? So Aaron, you've gotten to play against him. It's something else.
Yeah, well, he's got an IQ that you don't find in guys my age. So the kid is. I mean, even the local, he plays against my high school team. We didn't face against him this year, but we're in the same division, and his like I said, his IQ and his just ability eye for the game it's phenomenal. I don't think I've seen anybody in that age group that's ever played like that. So really looking forward to his future.
Yeah, no, that's a great way to put it too. His lacrosse IQ, Jordan Chalk. So Rachel, this is somebody from out by you. I'll let you tell us about him.
He's on my team. You'll all get to meet Mr. Chalk next weekend, and just watch out because this man is coming from everywhere all the time. He's a junior still, and I feel like he's always been good. And this year, he just found his stride. And I'm telling you, when these boys are having fun, they're unstoppable, and they're having so much fun. He's got some crazy highlights on. I've been blessed with like the best media guy on the planet of Earth, and he's gotten some incredible highlights. And Jordan was the first one to hit the airwaves, and everyone just freaked out about it. He's not only an incredible lacrosse player, he's also a very lovely human. So I'm super excited to see him on the list after just half of our season.
Yeah, that's awesome, and kudos to you. You guys, it looks like you're coming a long way with that team, and it is nice to see the guys. It's like, wow, so 2 of our top guys can play in the juniors league too. A lot of talent. There's a lot of parity in the
I think
leagues.
both of their ages together are probably close to mine.
It's a good. Yeah.
Mine too.
I just turned 37 on Monday, so
Yeah.
if they're 18 and 19, we're there.
Yeah. Well, I know their combined ages is younger than mine then, so I guess we can comfortably say that. Oh, man. And then Blount. So I had the privilege of watching him with Tusky. Watching him tear it up in the NABLL has been awesome. What did he have? 6 assists last week in I think one of the games. Yeah, he is
Yeah.
great. LaRock, I hear they just make all these. I try to remember who told me they make these army of lacrosse players that are all the same guys that come out of Grand Rapids. Just phenomenal athletes that are like little lacrosse robots.
You can't discount Brian. He's a Canadian.
Yes. I'm going to let somebody else pronounce the Grand Rapids guy's name in the middle. Joe, let's start with you.
Yeah.
It's probably Koenigsnacht.
Oh, look at you, Rachel.
Yeah,
Well,
no, that's great. I don't have
funny
my glasses
story.
on either, so it's even worse.
I don't have my glasses on.
Neither do
The
I.
beginning of that, I babysat for a kid 100 years ago with that beginning in it. That was maybe, who knows?
Just so for this moment you could pronounce it perfectly. So Kyle, you got 22 assists.
You're
You're on
welcome.
the top of this list as well. Chase again, Blount again. So you're really seeing the points leaders up there with the assist. And Garrett, Naimi, I would believe.
Namey.
Namey? Okay.
Namey.
Oh, yeah, that's a Northman. Duh, you should know that one.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah,
way
he's the
off.
old Voyagers guy as well.
Aha. So this Voyagers team used to be quite the team from what I've heard.
Yeah, I mean, we were the only American team playing Canadian senior ball for years.
Yeah.
And
We'd
it,
sure like
because of
them to come back.
what's that?
We'd sure like them to come back.
I've heard things.
Oh,
Me
boy.
too.
That's where the rumblings start.
Yeah, but yeah, it was they I think they ran from 09 to 16 or 08 to 16, and I was there 11 to 16 every summer, and it was unreal. That's what made me fall in love with the box game.
Uh-huh. And the Yeti are connected to that as well. Coach Tony and Coach Johnny were both coaches out in the Voyagers. Did you play there as well, Aaron?
Oh no, I did not. But no, you're right about John and Tony. Yeah, I wasn't a part of that, but yes, that was a John and Tony thing.
And so, Joe, how far away is like where the Voyagers are? Because you're pretty close to Vermont in a lot of spaces, but I don't know where they were out of.
Yeah,
We
they
played
were,
at Essex Junction.
yeah, they were pretty high up there, weren't they?
It
Yeah.
was just south of Burlington.
Whew.
Yeah, so 3, maybe 4 hours, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's about how long it would take me.
Yeah, it's a drive.
Yeah.
It's a nice drive, but it's a drive.
It is gorgeous.
It is.
Baker again, 24 goals, leading in goals so far. Your season, are you guys halfway through your season or like?
We're just over halfway. We've played the most games in our region now. We're 5 games in of the 8.
The Yeti front loaded their schedule too. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Teams looking to see if you want to come in healthy or not. Congratulations. So David Chintala, I believe, but what is it? The Ohio,
Coyote.
yeah, Coyotes.
Columbus.
So are the Columbus ones. So that's the first time I think we've had a guy from there on the leaderboard. So kudos to him. That's amazing. And your guy again, Jay Chalk, as I see in the comments, must be a fan favorite.
I'm sure they're in there.
So yeah, he's got to be a fan favorite. I've seen that one in there. Coach Jay from Brody. But
They call him Coach Jay. He coaches youth box. I mean, he coaches youth field too, but he coaches youth box. And so this winter he was deemed Coach Jay. So Jay Chalk, Coach Jay. I'm still going to call him Jordan.
you're still gonna call him Jordan?
Yeah.
And Jack Hutchinson. So that's another guy coming out of the Northman.
Yeah, he's one of our lefty forwards. He's been with us for a few years now, but young guy, played at Amherst in college, and he's getting the hang of the box game now, shooting the lights out this year. So I like it.
Awesome. So this is next guy. He's a guy that plays with you too, Coleman. I'll let you introduce him.
Yeah, Hussey. Yeah, OCC guy, local Roman from my hometown as well. His brother's playing with high school organization. You know, we're both alum from same school, so it's great to see somebody, you know, from the hometown doing great. Hussey's a fantastic guy. So big addition to both the junior team and the senior team.
Yeah, and honestly, Hussey loves playing so much. I can almost guarantee he's going to be one of those guys. He'll play at night, and then he will probably drive down to Massachusetts to play the next day.
Yep, I'm sure hoping on that one.
Yeah, I'd be more surprised if he didn't. Then we got Chase Kogan again and Brian LaRock rounding that out. But I really like how now we've got the forwards watch list. It kind of adds a little more, get a few more names out there. And this is definitely harder to see than I thought it was going to be. I do have my glasses on, and I still can't read them all. Hopefully, everybody else can. But
We're on the website.
yeah, they are on the website. That's literally where I stole the pictures from, so that would make sense. Uh, I guess really we should jump into the power rankings and then talk about juniors again, so we can get all the smack talk out of the way. Everybody seems to like this. It is tough for the power rankings just because you only see so many teams at nationals, and then like Joe, you guys come out of a division that sent a different, and I mean Kyle, you too, but you guys have sent a different team each year. I don't know if there's a team with more parity or a division with more parity in the league than you guys.
Definitely not.
I think it shows just how competitive our division is. You know, if 3 different teams can win 3 different years and we're playing close games every game, you know, just shows how competitive our season is all summer, which is great.
Yeah, yeah, and every team that's come out has performed very well. So it's been it's been awesome to watch it. I mean, you guys have a ton of talent that comes out of there. Great goaltending seems to be kind of what I think of when I think of that division as well, though. I mean, everybody's got a phenomenal goalie.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Definitely.
Yeah.
Especially like Maine, Boston, and us. Nothing on the other 2 teams. Just they are starting goalies. I think they're pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
throw the chat over here
I'd
so you
like
guys
to-
can see that a little bit.
I'd like to use the
Oh,
compare
goodness.
Canadian style goalies and American box goalies. You know, Americans bite and play a different way because they're less experienced than guys who have not Canadian, but guys who have north of the border experience, or at least, you know, have competed at that level. And against those players, they play the game a different way. And that's how, you know, the Oaks goalies are our goalies and Boston goalies at this point, and the other guys are on their way up, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. The Stallions and Rhode Island, like they're doing a great job, and their goalies definitely are getting better and better. But yeah,
I love the comment, and also thanks for letting me wear the ankle brace 2 years ago at Laxney. Yeah, guys
That's my team.
yeah, it's amazing. You definitely have a lot of guys in the comments. They're going to town now, so I figured we might as well.
They love me and I love them. So I'm super honored that I have a chat full of my boys
Yeah.
commenting.
And I don't know who your goalie is, Rachel, so you'll have to fill us in. But I do got to take a second to talk about Aaron's goalie, junior goalie. So, Lily, tell us a little bit about Lily.
Yeah, Lily Barra. She's a committed Akron College athlete now. She's a fantastic field goaltender, and so she'll be embarking on her freshman year coming up here in a few months out there in Ohio. But she's been playing box goalie, and I don't want to paraphrase how she says things, but I believe it's like 5 or 6 seasons. Her dad was a box guy, played goal, so she's come into the game, and she's again. To use that phrase IQ, but she's got it for box, and so she was just up in Thousand Islands, plays for the Lady Yeti as well, so well-rounded. She's all over the floor playing for different teams, and all Yeti. So
with the Lady Yeti, she's played against some world level competition.
Correct.
Yeah,
quite a few times. Yeah,
several times, and even that Thousand Islands team had a bunch of world's players.
That's correct. They did a lot of Canadian players from the women's team. So, yeah, they were. That was a pretty. If you got to catch any of it on film, it was pretty interesting to see that game unfold. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was not there. Fortunately, my son was graduating, so we at least did a somewhat decent job as parents. We got him through high school, so.
It's a viable excuse.
Yes.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you. So, Joe, I have seen your goalie take over tournaments, your seniors goalie I'm talking about. I've watched Cam completely win the ULAX tournament essentially for his team when he showed up. I mean, what is it like to have a goalie at that level. Same with Duncan. Like, I mean, I've watched these guys just single-handedly. All of a sudden, it goes nuts, and they're on fire.
I mean, he's the anchor on the defense, and like he was very good last year. But then he traveled with the Firewolves all last winter as essentially their third stringer, and he's definitely got better over this winter. And he's definitely a notch better this summer, and he's in terms of like great goalie, he's a even better person. Like he's just an amazing kid. Amazing kid.
Super nice guy. I've only gotten to talk to him a couple times. Once was on the floor signing autographs, actually. When I told him, I was like, hey, you took over that ULAX tournament I was filming, but I was like, that was impressive. And yeah, no, he is like that level goalie. It's crazy. How you still got Duncan up there, Kyle?
Yep. Oh yeah, Duncan's still ticking, and
Yeah.
he's still playing very well. We've been mixing in Tuck a little bit more this summer to give Dunk a break. You know, he's one of the older guys in the mix, and as a goalie in the hot rink, you know, it can beat up the body a little bit. So we've been smart with him, but he's definitely performed when we needed him to. So
Yeah. Honestly, he's my favorite goalie to watch when it comes to entertainment value. He is so athletic. The saves he makes sometimes are just
he will pull some saves out of his ass that are ridiculous.
yeah, he's a highlight machine. Like he just highlight reel after highlight reel. I every chance I get to film Duncan, I love it. And he's gonna get on the podcast one of these days. I think he's a little shy. But
No, he would love that. He would love that.
trying to talk him onto it. We just couldn't line it up last year, and now I got to get back a hold of him because I do. I just like talking to him too, and his mom is always in the chats, which is amazing. It's
Yeah.
a blast.
Yeah,
The first nationals.
He's one of our foundation guys for sure. He's been with us since year one, and he helps me on the back end with some GM stuff as well, just some organizational stuff. And he's at everything he can be at, and does everything his body can handle, and can't ask much more.
No, it's quite amazing. So now I guess we might as well get into these power rankings. They start right off 5, 4. You're in the top 10, Rachel. How does it feel?
We're just excited to be nominated, Greg.
Just excited to be nominated. I love it. I do like seeing the hooligans there. It looks like there's a lot more parity everywhere through the league. Plus, some teams haven't played a lot of games yet. Sharks look like they're having a pretty good run so far, so kudos to them. That's another guy I know. He played for Allegheny, Nick Goldberg, so a lot of box experience down there. Dave Mather with the Seattle Kings, obviously, Grand Rapids. So I've noticed that Dave was on the goalies list as well for the points, which actually I got to pull that back up because that's the same guy that is like 60 years old, right? Dave Holding?
Okay. So I just talked to Brian not long ago. I'm told this is Dave's last year. So he's hanging up the pads after this year. I think he's 58. So big shout out, big fan of Dave. He is always a delight to talk to at nationals. But Brian did tell me that this is in probably Dave's last year. He's planning to hang it up after this. So we have to do a big shout out to Dave Holding.
Yes, absolutely. And because there's no Collar City team, he easily is the oldest guy there because Deej is no longer there. Anybody who can still play, that is absolutely amazing. That is, yeah. No, I'm honestly very jealous because I'm 40 years old and I don't even feel like I could go out there and play right now. So there's that. Oak City Owls. Every year the Reapers have come out of this division. Is that correct, Rachel?
This division, so you mentioned just a second ago that you feel like there's more parity overall. I audit the scores and watch a lot of film to make sure that there's no bullshit. This region is hot this year. The Gamblers came in. Oak City's been very stand up, and the Reapers have come out of this region every season. But I don't. There's a couple of regions where I'm not really sure who's going to end up on top because the games, we've had a ton of 1-goal games. We've had a ton of shootouts. Like the competition, we rise. It's been really incredible to watch. So I think Oak City's definitely on the rise. I agree with this.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like everybody's starting to catch up to the New England division when it comes to competitiveness, and now everybody's on board. Speaking of the New England division, there's our number 3 ranked Nor'easters. We've already got a little bit of guys from the New England division. We don't need to shout them out for too long. And obviously Rachel's favorite team, the Wheat Kings.
Easy.
Yeah, I do have to say, last year when you lost 1 goal and guaranteed win night, that would have been epic. If you could have pulled that one off, that really probably could have shut down a social media game. But I gotta give
will shut down their social media
credit's gotta be given where it's due. Is Nick Midbow has an amazing social media game. He is he's next level on it.
They're a good team. They took the Wild to a very respect. Like they took the Wild to a very competitive final. They haven't played yet this season, so but I'm not expecting them to be slouches, of course. But like they took the Wild to a very competitive final. We'll see what happens when they actually hit the floor. But
honestly, I think it was the most competitive final we've had so far, isn't it?
I absolutely agree.
Yeah. And speaking of which, obviously the Wild are still number 1, which I don't know why it's showing that instead of the Wild logo. There they are.
There you go.
I had clipped in the wrong one. That's probably why. But because 1 was actually 2, so it threw me off. But the Wild, until somebody beats them, and honestly, I think even if they lose 1 game in the division, I personally will not take the Wild out until Nationals. Until somebody beats them in Nationals, 3-year reigning champions. A very different.
They win when they have to.
Yeah, and it's a different style than I'm used to watching. Like just a completely different style than Can-Am. Just the long spread out game, laser passes with a great goalie, which comes from great shooters. Yeah, it's been. So Kyle, you've played against them before. What do you think about playing whenever you play that Wild team? It's a different. It's just different than it feels like the Lacrosse is from up here.
I mean, they're just good and good up and down the bench, and also young and athletic up and down the bench. And when you have that combo, it can grind you down. That they have the right guys with the box experience, which is awesome, and then they have the right horses in the right spots. And that's what I noticed the last couple times. Like we played them in Columbus with Maine, but honestly, we were so like by that championship game, we were way more run down than they were, and they were younger and had way more legs, and it showed up in that game for sure. And then when I played against them last year with the Nor'easters, I think it was a 2-goal game or a 1-goal game in the end, and that was a battle, but they were just solid overall. It would if we played a longer full game, it could have gone a different way, but in those games, those tight ones at Nationals, you got to get the job done early, and they are solid, and they have the right guys to bury the ball, and that's huge in those quick games.
Yeah, no, that is huge in the small games. So as you're building the juniors team, what have you found is the easiest way? And I'd like everybody's answer on this one, but we'll start with Joe first because he's been sitting in his car and has to get back into his house league. We really appreciate this, but what do you do for a field guy as first practice? Just kind of throw him in there and like start getting your butt kicked, bud. You'll figure it out.
We give them a little bit of a heads up kind of rundown, and then, I mean, we have them play in the house league, and that's it's very kind of low level. Everybody's having a fun time. No one's super competitive in that. And then you put them in there, and then you get them in there practicing with the senior guys. Come see a senior game. Some of them get called up to a senior game. And that's basically how we start developing these guys. Some of them, you just throw them into the deep end, see if they can swim. That happened to a couple of them when we brought them up to Thousand Islands. It was their first box lacrosse game. We said, well, you did okay in tryouts. Let's see if you can really see if you can actually swim. So, throw them in there. And if they can perform up there, or at least, not be afraid to come back after halftime, then they can probably play.
Yeah, no, if they're going to finish a game up there, they're just as tough as anybody. Speaking of throwing throwing people into the deep end, Rachel, that's kind of how you guys started, wasn't it? Your whole team essentially ended up in the deep end.
No. I'm going to disagree respectfully. I have a couple of veterans that really like lead the charge, but I've added skills sessions, so field guys can come in and learn, and then go to team practice, where we can run like bigger, transition drills and scrimmages and situational play. So I've added skills sessions so that I'm not scaring field guys off. I'd like to teach them to play box versus I have a couple that I plunged straight into the deep end? Yes, but they've shown that like they've got the guts for it. So I guess we started out with kind of, more field heavy. But as we progress, we're definitely getting people with at least some box experience. So with my guys just bringing all these people in, they just keep bringing their friends and bringing their friends. They're not pushing 50. I was like, how can I best like serve the greatest of their needs? And so we added these skill sessions. So we do those, so that they can learn the mechanics of the game and they can be introduced to it in a way that it makes sense. And it also helps the drills, when we've got more people there, run more smoothly because they know what's expected of them when they're in a drill.
Gotcha. So the skill session kind of way. Coleman, how did you guys start it? Was it just straight to Laxni kind of was your first endeavor?
Yeah, I think that was basically how we did. We took a couple of guys that we kind of siphoned from other teams that weren't going to Laxni, and we made a group, brought a bunch of field guys in, and just struggled. We just hopped on the struggle bus and went for a ride, and eventually we started finding some success. But that's how we did it, and then we ended up doing winter box sessions, and similar to the other leagues, we put in skill sessions and clinics and things like that. And eventually we just, kind of grew enough that, people are reaching out going, hey, we got a guy who played box a couple of years, want to bring him in. Bring him on. Let's do it. So that's where we're at now. So,
And what about you,
plus
Kyle?
Blue Squatch kind of helps a lot,
Love it.
What's that?
So how do you kind of bring in the new field guys? Because you actually coach a high school team, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm a head high school coach in the spring with field kids, and again, kind of like what Joe said, we give them a couple pointers, a couple of the basics, and just gameplay stuff, and obviously warn them about the contact and ensure guys have rib pads on and biceps on, and let them get after it. We let them feel it out and kind of coach them up as we go. I've always been a fan of playing and learning. You can sit and watch and be coached this and that, but until you're on the floor banging around and getting a feel for things, that's the best way to learn. So we really just new field guys, plug them right into practice and coach them up after each rep.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dan O'Gorman is definitely not 50. If Dan O'Gorman is 50, I am way older than 50 because I've seen him. He's a beast out there, and if he's doing that at 50, that's impressive.
No, Dano just turned 30. He's now in the 30+ club on the team, but he's still younger than a few of us.
Still not old enough for Masters yet. If you're not qualified for Masters yet, you're definitely not that old. But we've been doing this for over an hour, especially if you consider the first 10 minutes were, not live. So sorry about that. We will upload the beginning of this episode afterwards. I guess we'll start around the circle again. Joe, we'll start with you because you're on the top left for me. Where is the best place for everybody to follow you? Is it just through the seniors team?
Yeah. Go through our Instagram. That's you have Charlie Edwards and I that run that, and that's the best way to get in contact with us. And kind of you can see what we're about, and then also message us, and we'll bring you right in. We're always looking for more.
Absolutely. Everybody always wants the time. Now, Rachel, do you guys have a separate juniors one that I just haven't found yet, or is you running everything through the seniors?
I will shortly. We're gonna have some juniors games and kick off our house league at the end of July. So the Isotopes page is the best connection for that right now. My phone number is everywhere on the league website. So if I'm not hard to find if you want to play.
But you
and
guys
you're a
have
junior.
have enough kids for a house league. That's impressive.
Yeah, so I'll take more. Anyone who wants to play some bucks at the end of the summer, we'll be happy to have you. So we'll have a separate page for it when we get a little closer to that. So the Isotopes page would be the best place to see that.
All right. And Coleman, I know you run the juniors page for the Yeti. You've got a specifically designed page.
Yeah, we have the Junior Yeti, and then also I help Paul with the Senior Yeti, both Instagrams, so either teams.
It's been
But we
noticeable.
also have the late. we do what we can. The Lady Yeti also has their own Instagram as well now. So, women players, not just, junior eligible age players. Any Lady Yeti, we're always looking for more women to come out and join that group as well. So between the three teams, reach out, send us a message. We're all in.
We start women's on Monday.
Yeah. So we're on the radar of that. We're doing our best to push, a little heavier to get more NABLL related, women's program stuff going on. We've got something that Charlie and I from the Oaks have been kind of working on, is trying to get a women's team together. A women's game together on the 20th. We're hoping that, here's my youngest lady Yeti. We're hoping on the 20th that we can pull it off. So we're going to see, but if it all goes to plan, we'll kick it off and go from there.
Maybe next year I can bring you a women's team too.
Yeah, well, maybe we could fly out to Minnesota. It's been a while since I've been up to the land of the lakes.
We'd be happy to host you.
Great.
And Kyle, you run everything right through the Northman Senior page?
Yep. At Box Main on Instagram. Follow, like everything, share everything. That everything from the Instagram gets pushed to the Facebook as well. I don't really do anything with the Facebook, but
So
if you're on Facebook,
yeah.
throw them a follow.
But more importantly, if somebody's trying to get a hold of you guys to go out and play, write to you on the Instagram messenger.
Yeah, we have a player interest doc right in the profile on Instagram too. Yeah.
Come to Minnesota. We'll have a packed house. You have got a lot of Minnesota fans. You are dominating the chat, I will say, Rachel. Your Isotopes guys are all over it. So it is very impressive.
They're good boys.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much. One thing that's never talked about is the GMs of these junior teams, or of all the clubs, really. Without you guys putting in all the volunteer hours, there would not be so many young men getting a chance to play. Sounds like so many young women now getting a chance. We really appreciate it. So on behalf of somebody who just enjoys watching it, thank you guys very much. And everybody else, we will be back next week. I believe Steamboat. Yeah, I'll screw that up. Sorry, everybody. We'll see you next week.